Have you ever felt like life was quietly pushing you out of a place you once loved? Maybe it's a job that used to excite you but now feels like a burden. Or friendships that once felt like home but now leave you feeling emotionally drained. There's this strange heaviness in the air, feeling that you're no longer growing, even though everything around you looks the same. This isn't just random discomfort, according to the teachings of Louise Hay. When something inside you starts whispering that it's time for change, it's the universe giving you a sign. Not through loud warnings, but through subtle emotional shifts. A lack of joy, a sudden loss of motivation. The feeling that your heart is somewhere else, even if your body is still here. Right now, as you're listening to these words, ask yourself, is there an area of your life where you've been feeling stuck? A place where you no longer feel alive, but you keep forcing yourself to stay because it feels safer than stepping into the unknown. Maybe it's a relationship that feels more like a routine than a connection, or a daily routine that drains you little by little. This question stirred something inside you. I invite you to share your experience in the comments. Writing it down can be the first step towards clarity. This channel exists to support women like you who are navigating emotional transitions and looking for answers when life feels blurry. Your words may even help someone else going through the same thing. Louise Hay often said that life speaks to us in patterns. When joy starts to disappear, when opportunities stop flowing, when your body feels tired for no clear reason, it's not just stress. It's the universe trying to get your attention. It's life telling you that you've outgrown this chapter. Some people ignore these signals for years. They stay in relationships that no longer nurture them. They hold on to routines that drain their energy. They wait for a sign so obvious that it's impossible to ignore. But often, the universe doesn't shout. It whispers. It closes doors quietly. It quiets the energy around you until you start questioning why things don't feel the same anymore. What's even more powerful is that these emotional shifts are not punishments. They are invitations. It's an open door to a new chapter that's waiting for you to step through. Louise Hay believed that every emotional discomfort is a call to align with something better. Something that matches the person you are becoming, not the person you used to be. So, as we begin this journey together, take a deep breath. Let this be your safe space for a reflection. You're not here by accident. There's a reason this message found you today. In the next chapters, we're going to explore how to recognize the emotional signs the universe sends when it's time for you to leave an environment that no longer serves your growth. Are you ready to open your heart to the possibility that change is not something to fear, but something to embrace? Sometimes, the most powerful signals from the universe come disguised as discomfort. It starts slowly. You begin waking up feeling tired even after a full night's sleep. Small things that never used to bother you now feel overwhelming. Conversations that once energized you now leave you feeling emotionally empty. The routines that used to bring comfort now feel heavy, almost like a weight you can't explain. Louise Hay taught that when emotional and physical discomfort starts to build, it's rarely random. It's the universe creating little cracks in your current reality to get your attention. The longer you ignore these small cracks, the more intense the discomfort becomes. It's like life is turning up the volume, hoping you'll finally listen. Have you noticed that situations or people that used to bring you joy now leave? You feeling disconnected? Maybe you find yourself daydreaming about being somewhere else, or you catch yourself imagining a different life. These moments of mental escape are signs that your inner self is craving change. For many women, especially in the stage of life between 35 and 55, these feelings are easy to dismiss. It's tempting to blame stress, work, family responsibilities, or even age. But deep down, there's a voice inside asking, is this really where I'm supposed to stay? That quiet questioning is not weakness. It's awareness trying to wake you up. Louise Hay believed that our emotions are messengers. When sadness lingers for too long without a clear reason, when anxiety becomes a constant companion when motivation disappears, even though life seems stable. It's not failure. It's the universe sending signals that you're out of alignment with your true path. Imagine standing in a room that once felt warm and safe. Over time, the air starts to feel colder. The light seems dimmer. The colors fade. That's what happens inside us when we stay too long in environments that no longer support our growth. The body also starts to speak. Small health issues appear. Headaches become more frequent. Sleep becomes restless. Even digestion changes. Louise Hay often spoke about the connection between emotional well-being and physical health. When we ignore emotional signs, the body amplifies the message. You might notice that relationships feel strained for no obvious reason. Simple. Tasks feel exhausting. Things that once excited you now feel dull. It's like your entire being is signaling that it's time for a change. Some people wait until a crisis forces them to move. They wait until burnout, until a major argument, until life breaks apart. But you don't have to wait for that. Awareness is the first step. Recognizing the signs is the moment when you take back your power. So take a moment now and ask yourself, is there a part of your life where the energy feels stuck? Where happiness feels like a distant memory? Where you feel more drained than inspired? You're not alone in this. Many women feel this way, but don't know how to describe it. They just know something feels off. And that's why understanding these signs matters. When you acknowledge them, you create space for new energy, new people, and new opportunities to enter. In the next chapter, I'll share how resistance to change often keeps us trapped in places we've outgrown, and how you can start shifting that energy starting today. Resistance to change is one of the strongest forces that holds us back. Even when the universe sends clear signs, even when discomfort grows louder, it's common to cling to what feels familiar. Louise Hay often spoke about how our minds create patterns of safety, even when those patterns no longer serve us. Think about this. How many times have you stayed in a situation longer than you should, simply because the unknown felt scarier than the discomfort you were experiencing? Whether it's a job, a relationship, a friendship, or even a mindset, we often hold on because it's what we know. The fear of uncertainty feels bigger than the pain of staying stuck, right? This resistance isn't just mental, it's emotional, it's physical. The body can tense up at the very thought of making a change. The mind fills with doubts. What if I make a mistake? What if I regret it? What if things get worse? These questions play on repeat, making you second-guess every decision. Louise Hay taught that this fear is deeply rooted in old beliefs. Many of us grew up believing that safety comes from stability, even if that stability feels like emotional suffocation. We were taught to be grateful for what we have, even if it drains our spirit. The problem is, gratitude doesn't mean accepting environments that no longer nourish your soul. You can be thankful for the lessons while still choosing to move forward. Sometimes the universe will keep removing pieces of your comfort zone until you have no choice but to move. Friendships may drift away. Opportunities may dry up. Energy levels may drop. It feels like life is crumbling, but in truth, it's restructuring. The universe is making space for something better, something that aligns with your growth. Can you recall a time when you resisted a change, only to realize later that moving on was the best thing that could have happened? It's a common story. People stay in jobs that drain them for years, only to find joy and success in a new path they never considered. Others hold on to relationships that feel safe but empty, only to discover deeper connections after letting go. The hardest part is taking the first step. Louise Hay encouraged people to affirm new beliefs during these transitions. Simple affirmations like "I trust the process of life" or "I am safe to make changes" can shift the emotional energy and make space for courage. If you've been feeling like life is giving you little pushes, small nudges, or even big emotional wake-up calls, take a moment to notice how your body feels right now. Is there tension in your chest? A tightness in your stomach? These physical signals are part of your inner guidance system. Recognizing resistance is the first victory. The next step is to choose differently, not with fear, but with trust that the universe never removes something without offering something better in return. In the next chapter, I'll share how the universe often uses closed doors and unexpected endings as redirections, guiding you towards environments that match who you are becoming. Sometimes when life starts closing doors, it feels like rejection. It feels like failure. You apply for jobs and don't get a call back. Friendships that felt solid begin to fade. Plans you were excited about suddenly fall apart. It's easy to see these moments as losses. But according to Louise Hay, what feels like rejection is often a powerful redirection from the universe. Louise often said that every closed door is an answer, even if it doesn't feel like one in the moment. When something doesn't work out, it's because that path wasn't meant to continue. The universe is gently, or sometimes not so gently, steering you towards a better alignment. Think about a time when something you really wanted didn't happen. Maybe it was a job, opportunity, a relationship, or even a place you wanted to live. At the time, it felt like everything was falling apart. But looking back, you can probably see how that no led you to a better yes. Louise taught that the universe removes what no longer serves you to make room for what does. This process, it's rarely comfortable. It challenges your trust. It makes you question your worth. But these moments are crucial for your growth. One of the most common signs that it's time for a change is when everything you try seems to hit a wall. You put in the effort, but nothing moves forward. Doors that once opened easily now stay closed. It's not because you're failing. It's because the universe has something else planned for you. Louise encouraged people to view these moments as spiritual rerouting. It's just like a GPS recalculating when you miss a turn. Life recalculates when you're headed somewhere that no longer matches your energy or your purpose. If this feels like something you're experiencing right now, pause for a moment. Take a deep breath. Reflect on the areas of your life where things seem to be falling apart. Could it be that something better is waiting for you just beyond your current vision? Sometimes the biggest blessings come disguised as unanswered prayers. It's in these moments of uncertainty that we're asked to trust more deeply, to believe that life is always working in our favor, even when we can't see the full picture yet. Louise Hay recommended using affirmations during these times. To shift your mindset, phrases like, "Every door that closes leads me to something better," or "I trust the flow of life," can help calm the fear and invite new possibilities. Before we move on, I want to ask you something. Have you experienced a moment recently where a door closed unexpectedly? Maybe you're still trying to make sense of it. You feel comfortable? Share it in the comments. Your story might inspire someone else who's going through the same thing. In the next chapter, we'll explore how the feeling of emotional emptiness can be one of the most powerful wake-up calls from the universe, pushing you towards environments where your spirit can thrive again. There's a certain kind of emptiness. That word struggled to describe. It's not sadness. It's not anger. Something quieter, deeper, like a slow fading of joy that happens over time. You wake up, go through your day, handle your responsibilities, smile when you're supposed to, but deep inside, there's nothing. Just a hollow feeling where excitement and passion used to live. Louise Hay spoke often about this emotional emptiness. She described it as the soul's way of saying, "This isn't where I'm meant to be anymore." It's the universe sending you gentle but persistent reminders that you've outgrown your current environment, that your spirit is longing for something more fulfilling. This feeling doesn't always arrive with drama, doesn't always come with big losses or dramatic endings. Sometimes it shows up quietly, like going to places that once felt exciting but now feel dull, spending time with people who used to lift you up but now leave you drained, finishing your day and realizing you felt emotionally numb through most of it. Many women in their mid-30s to mid-50s experience this shift and don't know how to explain it. Some call it burnout, others think it's just stress or age. But Louise Hay would invite you to look deeper, to ask yourself, where am I staying out of habit rather than happiness? This emptiness isn't here to punish you. It's here to wake you up, to push you to ask bigger questions. What excites me now? What environment makes me feel alive? Again, what people, activities, or places bring color back into my life? One important thing Louise taught was that ignoring this emptiness doesn't make it go away. It grows, it spreads, starts to affect your body, your mood, your energy. That lingering fatigue you can't explain. It's that growing disinterest in things that once made you smile. All part of the same message, if you're not meant to. Live on autopilot. You're not here to simply exist day after day without joy or passion. The universe designed you for growth, for expansion, for experiences that make your heart feel alive. Emotional emptiness is simply the alarm clock. It rings louder the longer you ignore it, okay? Now, take a quiet moment. Breathe deeply. Ask yourself, where in my life am I just going through the motions? Is it your career, your relationship, your daily routine? Are you showing up physically but checked out emotionally? Recognizing this is powerful. Awareness always comes before change. When you admit to yourself that something feels empty, you create the space needed for something new to arrive. Louise often encouraged people to repeat affirmations like, I deserve to live a life that feels good, and I am open to new experiences that bring me joy. Saying these simple words starts to shift the energy around you. In the next chapter, I'll share how one small step, one new choice, can begin to refill that emptiness and reignite the spark inside you. Sometimes we wait for a huge breakthrough to change our lives. We imagine that one big event will come and shift everything overnight. But according to Louise Hay, lasting change rarely happens that way. Most transformations begin with one small conscious step, one new choice, one decision to do something different today. If you've been feeling lost in emotional emptiness, overwhelmed by closed doors, or trapped by resistance, the solution might be simpler than you think. It doesn't require a full life overhaul overnight. It starts with one action that shifts your energy in a new direction. Louise often said that small steps carry big energy. When you do something new, even if it feels tiny, you send a clear message to the universe, I'm ready for change. And when the universe receives that signal, it starts to respond. Maybe it's something as simple as changing your morning routine, choosing a different walking path, saying no to something you usually accept out of habit, or setting a boundary that feels long overdue. These actions may seem small, but energetically, they're powerful. Many women hesitate at this point. They tell themselves it's not enough, that it's too late, that the changes they want feel too big to even begin. But Louise Hay always reminded us, you don't have to see the whole staircase up. You just need to take the first step. One story Louise often shared was about people who started with a single affirmation, just one. They began saying something like, I am open to new opportunities, or I trust that life is guiding me. And from that small shift in words, new thoughts appeared. Then new emotions, then new actions, and soon their entire environment began to change. When you take one small step, you break the cycle of inertia. You create movement where there was stagnation, and that movement attracts new energy, new ideas, and new opportunities into your life. So pause for a moment. Ask yourself, what is one small thing I can do today to change my energy? It doesn't have to be dramatic. Maybe it's reaching out to someone you trust for a conversation. Maybe it's writing in a journal for 5 minutes. Or maybe it's simply giving yourself permission to rest and breathe deeply. Louise taught that every positive action, no matter how small, is like planting a seed. You may not see the results immediately, but trust that growth is happening beneath the surface. If this message speaks to you, take a moment now to think of one action you'll take today. If you feel comfortable, share it in the comments. Sometimes declaring your intention makes it even more real. Your choice might inspire someone else who's standing at the same crossroads. In the next chapter, I'll share how trusting the unknown, even when it feels scary, can open doors you never imagined were possible. One of the hardest parts of change is trusting the unknown. Even after noticing the emotional signs, recognizing the closed doors, and taking small steps, there's a moment where you're asked to let go completely, to release control, to step into a space where you don't have all the answers. Yet, Louise Hay often spoke about this exact moment. The space between the old and the new. She called it the in-between phase, where things feel uncertain. But transformation is already happening beneath the surface. It's like standing at the edge of a cliff, knowing you can't stay where you are, but feeling unsure about what's waiting on the other side. Your mind may fill with questions. What if this doesn't work? What if I regret this decision? What if nothing gets better? The fear of making a mistake can feel overwhelming. It's common to replay all possible scenarios in your head, hoping for guarantees before taking the next step. Louise taught that these fears are normal. They're a natural part of growth. The key is to trust that the universe never removes something from your life without preparing something better, even if you can't see it yet, even if the road ahead looks foggy. Think about a time in your life when you faced uncertainty but moved forward anyway. Maybe it was starting a new job, ending a relationship, or making a move to a new city. At the time, it felt scary. But looking back, you can probably see how that decision shaped who you are today. It wasn't easy, but it was necessary. Trusting the unknown is an act of courage. It's choosing faith over fear. Louise often recommended repeating affirmations during these moments. Phrases like, "I am safe to move forward," or "Life is supporting me in every way," help calm the mind and reconnect you with your inner strength. Another helpful practice she suggested is visualization. Close your eyes and imagine the life you want to step into. Feel the emotions of being there. Let that vision guide your next steps, even if they're small. Picture yourself happy, free, and aligned with what feels right. During this phase, it's common to feel impatient. You may want instant clarity or immediate results. But just like a seed needs time to break through the soil, your new chapter needs space to unfold. Growth takes time. Healing takes time. But every small step matters. Some women describe this time as feeling like they're floating between worlds, not fully connected to the old life, but not yet settled into the new one. If that's how you're feeling, know that it's okay. This phase is temporary. It's part of the process. Louise always reminded people that life loves you. Even in moments of confusion, even when things feel silent. The universe is still working behind the scenes, arranging the right people, opportunities, and circumstances for your next chapter. Now, I'd love to ask you something. What's one area in your life right now where you're being asked to trust the unknown? Is it in your career, your relationships, your personal growth? If you feel comfortable, share it in the comments. Your courage could inspire someone else who's walking the same path. In the final chapter, I'll share how embracing this entire journey with love and trust can open the door to transformation far beyond what you expect. Reaching this point in your journey is something to celebrate. You've listened to the emotional signs. You've faced your resistance. You've taken small steps. You've walked through moments of uncertainty. And now you stand at the edge of something new. Louise Hay often said that real transformation happens when we choose to embrace the entire journey, not just the destination. Change isn't just about leaving behind what no longer fits. It's about opening your heart to receive what life wants to bring next. It's about trusting that the universe, with its infinite wisdom, has been guiding you all along, even during the moments that felt confusing or painful. Louise encouraged people to speak words of love and encouragement to themselves during times like this. Simple affirmations such as, "I am proud of how far I've come," or "I welcome new beginnings with an open heart," can help your mind and body feel safe in this new phase. These words carry energy. They create space for peace and clarity. Think for a moment about everything you faced recently. The doubts, the emotional discomfort, the moments when you felt stuck, questioning your next move. The nights you stayed awake wondering if change was even possible. Every single one of those experiences has prepared you for this moment. You are stronger than you think, more resilient than you realize, and much more ready than you give yourself credit. For now, the invitation from the universe is simple. Step fully into this new season with love and trust. Let go of the need to control every outcome. Release the fear that tries to convince you to stay small. Instead, choose to believe that beautiful things are waiting for you on the other side of this change. Louise Hay always reminded us that life responds to the energy we send out. So when you approach this moment with gratitude, trust, and love, you open doors you didn't even know existed. You attract opportunities, connections, and experiences that reflect the person you are becoming. It's okay if you still feel a little unsure. Growth often feels like that. But now you have the awareness, the tools, and the inner strength to move forward. You've come too far to turn back now. Take a deep breath right now. Let it fill your lungs completely. As you exhale, imagine releasing any leftover fear, doubt, or hesitation. Feel the space you're creating inside yourself for something new to begin. Before we close this journey, I'd love to hear from you. If this video touched you in any way, something here helped you see your situation differently, take a moment and leave a comment. Share your biggest insight, your next step, or simply how you're feeling after hearing these words. And if you feel it aligns with you, consider subscribing to this channel. Here, we'll continue exploring healing, growth, and emotional well-being inspired by the teachings of Louise Hay. Your voice matters here. Your experience matters. Thank you for being part of this space.